welcome back. We thought we'd shoot a little bit more video. Hopefully this time the audio works right. You know, I don't always have the microphone on because, you know, somebody shows up with a bunch of machines. I run out to capture as much as I can, because if I wait, by the time I figure out all the microphones and I get my son to come and help me, it'll be over. But anyway, we're here. So we have the new crew working with us. Our neighbor John decided to help us out, thank God. And his son does excavation. So let me just show you what they've done.
Well, meanwhile, back at the garage project, we've restarted that, thank goodness. So we're going to bury all that ugly looking rock, make big holes, bury it all, make it disappear. And then once we have that cleaned up, we're going to turn our attention back up here and start getting ready for the foundation for the garage. And then I have to plant a lot of evergreens and stuff over there, because my one neighbor that I could never see now, of course I can see, and they can see me, and we like privacy, both of us, so I'll put some evergreens up there. But yeah, we're started again. It's good to see. So Jason and I will keep working on this project here, and hopefully these guys will keep working on this one, and someday we'll get done. Just a little bit more video. They're going at it really good and strong now. A couple of machines here, there's another one on its way. They're burying all that rock. Wow, this is good progress. Thank goodness, it's about time. Fantastic. We've been at this now, you know, I don't know, 5 hours. But look at the difference. Most of those rocks are gone. You can see down there what they're doing. They're digging gigantic holes, huge cavernous holes, and then they're burying the rocks. And then they drop about 2 feet of dirt on top, so that if you want to plant a tree or whatever later on, no problem. But they're getting pretty close to grade here. I mean, if I back up, you know, it's not a hill anymore, you know? It's not diving down anymore. It's pretty straight. The building is going to start right here, right by this telephone pole. So you can see that they're getting, you know, pretty straightened out. Beautiful work. These guys really know how to use these machines. They work together, unbelievable. They come within inches of each other all day long and they never collide. Fantastic. Just unbelievable to watch. It's mesmerizing. Let's go back here, shall we? So, as you can see, all the rocks, the big, gigantic, enormous piles of rocks are gone. And we now have a nice little slope down to the garden. They still have to spread that dirt that's down there. And this area here is almost at grade. Now, if you remember before, my issue was that we kept digging and digging and digging, and we're going lower and lower. If you remember, we were all the way down there. We're maybe 25 feet higher now than we were before. And I kept saying, and we were building these giant mountains of rocks, you know. What are we going to do? And they said, well, we'll fill it in with gravel, you know, really expensive stuff. So here's what these guys did. John's son came over with his machines and his guys, and they started digging gigantic holes. I'm talking about holes the size of houses. And the way it works on our mountain here is the first 3 feet are solid rocks, big, huge boulders. But after about 3 feet, there's actually very good soil down there. So they dug these big, huge holes, then they grabbed all the rocks and dropped them into the holes. And of course, and then they put about 3 feet of soil on top. And of course, that left them a big mountain of great soil, which they then spread. And they did that over and over again until they got rid of all the rocks. So now, if you look over here, we are back graded up the mountain like we were before. And the only rocks you see sitting around are rocks that were already sitting around here. But, you know, we kind of go straight up the mountain like we're supposed to. So now I have usable land back here. You know, the garage starts way up back there. It ends right around here. And so therefore, all this land is going to be usable. My wife wants me to put in some grapes. She wants me to put in a smokehouse so we can make presuntos and chorizos and maybe some fruit trees. And of course, we have the garden down there. And we can now access it with our machines, small machines, which is nice. We're still digging. What are you doing? Oh, what do you think, babe?
Wow, that's
Nice, right? Big difference. They got almost all the rock gone now. Almost. They're going to clear it up all the way back. Yep, yep. And they're also going to make it smooth so I can get back there with a Kubota and all that. And they still have to excavate more up here.
Okay.
Because the building goes up here. So
well, they're very clever. Make it wide enough so we have a path all the way around the building, and now you can drive the car to the side, wash the sides.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're definitely. We're going to have like 10 feet around the building.
That's great.
It'll be nice.
And then this we will do the machine, right? Because we got to do something here.
Yeah, this we can clean up after the fact. But yeah. And down there, where the excavator's working down that hill, I can put some fruit trees and maybe some grapes, you know, behind the building. You know? It'd be nice. Beautiful.
Where are we going to put the smoke house?
Well, would you like it? I think we have enough room. So, what a difference, you know, when you are able to communicate what you want and you have people that can actually execute. They did all this in one day. It's fantastic. We have a few fallen trees there we have to cut and clean up, but other than that, it's beautiful. It's really great. So then, over here is where we'll be building the garage, and the driveway will tie into our driveway. And of course, the garage will tie into the garden. And so we're going to be away for a few days, and hopefully they'll get a little bit more done. And then when Jason and I get back, we really have to get going on a garden because we've got to catch up before the snow gets here. My hope is that we can get the structure completely up, doors, in walls, all that. And then first thing in the spring, I already spoke to our irrigation guy, and he's going to be coming over and setting up the irrigation. Meanwhile, these guys are going to get this pad up. We're going to pour the concrete. As soon as the concrete is poured, I can send the building people a picture. They're waiting for a picture of the poured pad before they can put me into the schedule to build the building. And so hopefully we can get that done. I don't know if they'll get the building in before snow, but we'll do what we can. First thing in the spring, our irrigation guy will come over. We'll set up all the irrigation for the garden. And then we'll begin to tie all the computer systems into here. There's a lot of electronics, and they're all going to run off of the garage here. There's the irrigation system, of course, but then there's lighting and cameras. You know, I'm going to have remote cameras so I can actually see the garden when I'm away and, you know, make sure that it's doing okay. We're going to have fertilizing systems that are automated. Lots of lighting. I want to have beautiful lighting at night, of course, to make it beautiful, but also I want to have gigantic spotlights at night. So, you know, it's a winter night, it's dark, we are making dinner, we want to get some fresh vegetables. We can walk out to the garden and grab some vegetables. You know, you have to remember we live in a forest. This is a forest. It's a mountain and a forest. And so we have interesting neighbors, you know, like bears, and coyotes, wolves, you know. And this is their land too, you know, so we're very happy to have them. Believe me, I love having them. I gotta tell you something about bears and coyotes. They're not too concerned about their pronouns, you know. I'd much rather have them as neighbors than some of the newfangled varmint we seem to have a lot of these days, but I digress again. I love digressing. But anyway, that's the plan. We seem to be executing well now. I'm going to be away for a few days. Hopefully it's all still going good when I come back. I'm sure it is. John and Joanne have been so kind in helping us, and their son, Little John. John is huge. Little John is not small either. You know, this is his machines, and they've done an amazing job. So I think we're finally on track to get this done. I'm hoping to make a lot of quick progress here if the weather should help us. And maybe get to a point where this is at least ready for the building so that when the building people come, you know, want to come or can come, we're all set. And then if Jason and I can get the garden structure finished, then we'll be ready to finish up in the spring and hopefully maybe, with a little luck, with a little help, be able to actually have a garden for 2023. We'll see. Once we get that going, we'll be able to continue to talk about the development. It's a lot of work to do inside of this garage, right? Once it's up, the real work starts. And of course, it's all about the cars, so we'll do some more about the cars as they come. So I think it'll be interesting. I'm hoping to keep capturing this and sharing. So come back again and see us. Ciao, ciao. Take care.